love look like? We're talking about, what it should look like. So, how do you love? How do you give it and how do you receive it so you can make sure that you are not putting yourself in a situation that you should not be in? I see the 2 requests, but I don't know you. I apologize. So I'm not sure about who you are. I might have to use my other device to check it out because I hate to ignore you, but I just don't want no surprises. But if you know me, then you definitely come up. Use the question box to ask a question. Inner city, fencing.
Right, that's Coach.
Still there. Come on back and send a request. I would love to have you talk about that. Fencing that's got to be real physical for the arms, right?
Fencing is one of the few sports where they actually have competition for people in their 90s.
Wow.
So it involves movement within a limited space, and it involves quick reflexes, eye-hand coordination, and it's a wonderful workout, and it's a great sport. And we as people of color need to start thinking about having our kids and grandkids get into fencing because it's a scholarship sport.
Oh, really? You heard that? If you put your kids in fencing, they could get a scholarship to colleges. Really?
They need to start looking into it looking into it as a sport at a young age because not everybody ain't going to the NBA.
That's true.
Everybody ain't gonna be Stephon Curry.
Okay.
Everybody ain't gonna be LeBron James. Okay. So we need to start thinking outside the box and get out of the ghettoization of how we think about things. Oh, because you don't know it, your child's not going to do it. No, open your mind up because your limitations are going to affect your child's ability to get involved with things that can benefit him or
now,
her.
Mr. Simple Life said, wow, I never heard of fencing. This is so educating. What else can you tell them about fencing? Because a lot of people, and African Americans don't think about fencing that much. How you doing, B-Hop? I have another law enforcement officer in here. We're talking about self-defense, and he teaches that. He also teaches that. B-Hop teaches self-defense to ladies as well. B-Hop, and if you would like to join the conversation, you're welcome to join the conversation. He's been out resting, but he's the person who trains people how to do that as well. He trained officers, and he also trained individuals. I think he set up a whole program.
Then who better than somebody like him who's involved in real life, in many instances, life or death situations?
Yeah. Now, the other thing is inner city. I need you to hit that arrow on your right, Tico, and bring him back. Call him. I think he left inner city, but I would have loved to have him talk about a little bit about
Let me see if
Coach Moses. See if he's around. If y'all have any questions in regards to self-defense, he's in New York City. Kamikaze is going to check him out for his classes. When are your classes? When are your classes that you offer? When and where? What time?
I'm Saturday mornings, and from 10 o'clock to 11:30. Sometimes we'll go an hour and a half. I don't watch the clock. We're minimum 1 hour. Sometimes we'll do an hour and a half. But I'm Saturday mornings from 10 to 11:30, and it's my all women's class, and it's a good size class. I don't have 50 million women. Wouldn't want 50 million women. But it's a good size. We can accommodate a few more if they're interested. And for all the women out there who how much does it cost? Don't worry about how much it costs. Bring your butt down first and see if you like it. Because if you don't like it, it doesn't matter how much it costs. Mm-hmm. And we are not cost prohibitive. In other words, I don't make a living off of this class, so I'm not charging you a living wage to join my class. I'd rather have a woman come to me and say, you know what, I want to join. I can only afford but this much, but wants to give me 100%. Than the woman that wants to come in and give me some, whatever she wants to pay me because she has a lot of money, but doesn't want to work. I want people committed because the commitment you make isn't to me. The commitment you make is to yourself.
So money should never be the reason for people not to show up.
Nope. Not at all.
It should never be the reason. But come ready to work.
Oh, hold on a second, Coach. Okay. That was Coach Moses. He can't come in because he's actually on the train.
Oh, so okay, got you.
It would have been good. But actually for you, Crystal, or anybody, and you can post it, if you want to know a little bit about fencing and what we do and just give you a little background, it's if you go to YouTube and you punch up Tico. And
how you spelling it?
That's me, Tico,
Oh,
Tico.
okay, your name. Okay, got you.
And Moses, Tico and Moses.
Mhm.
Moses like Moses, except this is a brother. Tico and Moses go Irish.
Mhm.
Tico and Moses go Irish, and it's a
Oh,
10-minute.
I remember that. I remember
Mhm.
seeing that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a
And
10-minute documentary. It talks about our foray into fencing, why we started the program in the community.
Tico as the strength and conditioning coach.
what they really go into showing you.
I'm a product of Jamaica Queens.
Yeah.
The kids here aren't exposed to a lot, which is why I started my fencing program here.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all
Exactly.
gotta check this out. Y'all gotta check this out if you really want to see it.
Yep.
And on a path to college.
Tico and Moses. Okay.
Tico
Yeah.
and Moses go Irish.
Is that him?
That's
Is
Coach
that him?
Moses. Yep. Yep. That's Coach Moses.
And Moses is the brain behind the operation. I'm from Harlem. I'm going to be the person that's going to be teaching you fencing.
And he's from Harlem.
Yeah.
You know, you guys going to be like, what's fencing? You know, don't worry about it. Fencing is just an art and science of sword fighting. People always ask how I got into fencing. I walked onto the fencing team at Notre Dame after being introduced to it in freshman year gym class. For me, fencing was just an extension of my martial arts training. How got the fencing basically watching two things, Star Wars and Highlander? I heard about a music video, and they were looking for fencers. Coach Tico called me, and he was like, Moses, you're not working today. Hey, what's going on? You're in a music video. I was doing some kennel work on the job, and I was thrilled to see some fencing. When I met Tico and Moses on set, I connected with them because I come from the same kind of neighborhood. The reason why they were
Yeah, I think the folks would like it. It tells a little bit about how we got hooked up with the producer and director of this piece, and it was a lot of fun. So.
and I thought it was a perfect opportunity to introduce my New York coaches to the dirty.
Yeah, y'all, check it out. Check it out. It's called Tico and Moses Go Irish. Tico and Moses Go Irish. Man,
Irish.
that's really good. Yeah, Irish. That's amazing because I don't think about fencing often. And I remember this video. And I'm so proud of you. You went to Ireland to do that?
Notre Dame.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that?
It's been a couple of years now, but they flew us to the University of Notre Dame.
Uh-huh.
And Notre Dame, of course, is known for football.
Uh-huh.
But they have a fantastic fencing program. Everybody there is on scholarship. And we got a chance to spend time with two of the top coaches in the sports and with some of the top athletes in that sport there. And it was a great time. But the bottom line is that this is a sport that, that anything that we put our mind to as people of color, we can come in and dominate.
Yes.
We need to start looking at other avenues for our children where they can come in and be successful. Everybody's not going to go to the NBA. And you're not going to see people who are fencers in music videos with half-naked women shaking their butts and stuff like that. It's a different mindset.
Right.
But if your child is bright, because you can't be a dummy in fence. Let me be honest, you can't be a dummy in fence. If you take I played basketball myself, If you take all the basketball players and all the fencers, put them together, the fencers' grades it's not even close. It's a thinking person's sport. But if your kid is a good student, if they're bright, if they have some athleticism, if they're willing to work hard, then maybe they have a future in fencing. But the bottom line is it is a scholarship sport, and we need to start looking into it.
And you was on a fencing team in Jamaica too, right?
Actually, no, because I was too busy playing basketball and football. I didn't have the time to fence. And here's the thing. I'm in touch with most of the fencers that fence in Jamaica. And I regret that I didn't try to go in and fence because the majority of them did get scholarships to go to college in fence,
That's
even
funny.
back then.
Isn't that funny when we look back at
back.
stuff like that? Because, you know, back then I didn't play basketball in high school, but then I got to college and I played basketball and I started. And it's funny how when we look back at the things, we were around certain people and doing certain things, but we didn't do. But it is amazing. And so I'm so proud of you and how you stayed, you know, true to who you was with your athleticism, with the martial arts, the fitness and everything. You never stopped. And then you added acting to it. So when did the acting piece come in? Was it with this movie? Was this the first part that started the acting?
I'm an only child. So I think I was probably acting since I was able to talk. You know, imaginary friends, keeping myself busy. Because when you don't have brothers and sisters, you have to get creative.
Right.
Now, when I was in grammar school, I didn't realize it at the time, but I got on stage one day. I was I believe in 5th grade. It had rained, and we were in the auditorium because we couldn't go outside for lunch. And I got up on stage with a friend of mine named Tony Polite, and we just devised something. We did some sketch, and we didn't even know what we were doing, but we just did it. It's called improvisation. But I didn't know I was doing improvisation, but I got up in front of a whole bunch of kids in that auditorium with Tony Polite and somebody else, and we came up with some scenario. We acted it out, and that was my first time that I'd actually acted. I did it in junior high school. I didn't do it in high school. I did it in college. I did theater and stuff like that there. And I've done stuff throughout the years, but I didn't really pursue it seriously until I got into my 50s. And I said, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been dabbling with it. I've got friends in the business. And I said, let me go get an agent and let me go ahead and get serious about it. And so I did. And I mean, obviously I'm not where I'd like to be, but I do have a resume. I've done some things. I'm presently on a limited TV series. I've done a pilot, which wasn't picked up. I'm being auditioned. I got another round of auditions for another pilot coming up. So, but I'm in the process, just like you are. You said you may not get to that size that in the old picture, but you're in the process of doing it. You're doing what you need to do to get there. So I'm doing the same thing with acting. And so I've done a couple commercials. I've done some billboard ads, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So listen. So can you tell the people who might be interested in acting? You're 64 years old. Are the opportunities scarce for people as they get older, or what does someone have to do if they're older and they decide that they would like to go into the acting career? What is it worth starting at a late age?
For a lot of people, when you get to your 60s, you're probably retired or in the process of retiring. What do you have to lose? Get yourself out there. You may not necessarily, it may not be theater. You might like theater. Maybe it's theater. Maybe it's TV. But you might just like commercials or print work. A lot of those jobs pay well. And if a lot of times it's what they're looking for. You may not think you have what they're looking for, but this is such a crazy business. It's not always what you think is going to make it. It all it takes is one person to look at you and say, you know what? Yeah, that face or whatever it is that means this or that, and we have a product that we think this person would represent well, or it's a certain look. I mean, it's any number of things. I mean, you need to get D'Ambrose on here too. D'Ambrose boy.
Yeah, he came up today. He came up on the second one. He was here. Oh my God, with the acting, I'm so proud of him, and the photography work he does. OMG! I really have to get him. I told him I wanted him to do a makeover. He came up earlier, and I was like, oh my God, another one! Yeah, he literally came on, and I had him on a interview. And Wayne Lyons, I got Wayne Lyons scheduled. Chef Wayne is going to be interviewed. All the way. Where is he living at now? He's somewhere in the islands or somewhere, but he's coming on. I think I got him scheduled for March or April, and that's going to be interesting. So I told David I wanted to do him because he's also a caregiver for his mom, and also because of the way he took off with, I mean, he's doing a lot of different things, and I'm just so proud of my classmates. I'm so proud of all of y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. And I want to let you know, sidebar, too, I made some calls today, I'm going to set up another meeting. You didn't make the last meeting we had, so we can get ready for the 45th reunion, so we're going to get that set. But I'm so grateful for you for coming here today and sharing this information with everybody. You see, the women love this. Remember, I told you, you need to start going live. You have a lot of knowledge. 50 years, you can give people information. If you do it once a day, once a week, one tip, come online, give a tip. You really can help individuals. You see how they responded to you. So I hope you really understand what I'm saying. Like, that's a gift, and that your skill and your information and your knowledge is needed out here. The women need it, the men need it. Let me see who this is trying to come up. Oh, Inner City Fencing. Inner City Fencing must have gotten to his location. Cool. I'm trying to accept him. He got off the train. Hey! Hi!
Hey, how you doing?
I was looking at y'all. Listen, y'all, I was playing the video for y'all. Look, we got both of them here, y'all. Both of them here. I had your movie playing a minute ago. I was showing them, y'all.
Yeah, I just happened to catch on, and forgive me, I'm actually getting ready for work, so I'm at a supermarket getting something to eat. But I did catch some of
Listen,
what
I am so grateful that you came in. Nice to meet you. You know, I've known Tico since Jamaica High School. We go back. He talked about you and the fencing, you being a fencing instructor. There was a couple people who never heard about fencing. I know you're on your way to work, but I just asked you, I would love to interview you one day just on the whole thing about fencing. So please follow me if you hit the follow button, if you haven't already, and follow me so we can and send me a DM so we can make sure that we do that. But anything you want to tell people about fencing and why they should consider fencing as a form of, is that another form of martial arts? Fencing?
Well, it actually was a very important form of martial arts at one time, but now it's a sport.
Okay.
But it's great exercise. And you could, again, they have competitions for people in their 90s, so you could be any age and do it. But also think in terms of our children, the scholarship opportunities that exist to go to college, they are there. So we need to start to orient ourselves towards things that are outside of what we're normally accustomed to.
I got to get Kenneth Mosies one day. If I ever get Kenneth out here, oh my God, that would be amazing. And one more, but tell us.
Kenneth who?
No, Kenneth that went to school with us.
Sorry. I know a martial artist named Kenneth, so that's why I'm like.
Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you real quick, because I haven't met you before. I'm so excited to see you today. Tell us a little bit about you and your background in fencing.
Well, I've been teaching fencing since 2004, and I actually was in Children's Foundation when I learned fencing in about 1992, something like that, 91, I'm sorry. So I've been doing it since then, but then I stopped because, it was a program that was under. Hold on for a second.
That's really cool. The fencing is really cool, man.
Sorry about that, people.
I didn't know, so fencing is a sport. And ladies and gentlemen, if you just came in, we're talking to Tico and Moses, and they actually have a video that you want to check out on.
Yeah, it's a documentary that they did about it.
Can you write it in the comments for me, Tico, while we're listening? Write in Tico and Moses Go Irish so I can pin that. So y'all can go. It was done in Notre Dame, and these two gentlemen are really. It was presented. They were flown out to Notre Dame to do this film for fencing, and it's just truly amazing. So it's really kind of cool. It's really kind of cool. And we have a fencing instructor here, and they talked about the fact that it is a sport that your child can get a scholarship. So I'll let you go ahead, sir.
Yeah, see, I've been doing this since 1991. I did stop briefly because at the time Coach Woodrow Rack of Woodside Fencing was teaching. He was originally teaching all over New York City, and I just happened to be one of his students. And what happened was, during college, I had a tragedy in my life. My girlfriend passed away from cancer, and this was about 2000. And so my coach came by to visit the foundation while I was still working, and I was still in mourning. And he was telling me that he had rebuilt his fencing center in Woodside. So I just came just to kind of reintroduce myself to fencing, not knowing that this would be something I would be doing. And I did it for a couple of weeks. And then my boss at the time, God rest his soul, Mr. Samuel Brown of our Children's Foundation, because he passed away recently in December 31st, he asked me at the time, would you like to teach fencing? And I looked at him, and I was like, well, I don't know. I was about to say no. He said, I'll pay you $25 an hour. And I was like, I'm going to find a way how to do fencing because no one has paid me $25 an hour to teach. So that's how I started. And then Coach Rack had me under him working in different after-school programs, and that's how I started off. And then he introduced me to Olympians, to coaches, and me, this is a new concept to me. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what they're talking about. I'll find out. And I just started to develop my own style. And how I met Coach Tico, because we always laugh about it, he came to Woodside one day, and, you know, he's like, I'm a martial artist. And I'm looking at him like, what is this martial artist doing in my domain? Like, that's how I looked at him at the time. I said, I'm not going to mess with him. He's a martial artist because I did martial artists a little bit, did karate a little bit. So I couldn't talk anything, couldn't talk mess. But he was like, he was interested. And then he had a program in Queens, and he kept asking me to go to Queens. And at the time, I had work obligations. And then when that stopped, I said, all right, I'll go to Queens. And I looked at the students. I said,